Hey everyone, Rob B here with Rob D, and we're sneaking in between Christmas and New Year to reflect on 2022. It's been quite the year.
Yeah, in terms of the property market, what a roller coaster. For most of the year, we're in a real boom. The kind of boom that we haven't seen for a very long time. If you go all the way back to when we started the podcast, there's obviously been lots of events along the way, but we haven't seen any extreme periods of house price movement. But really, the market started to go crazy. I was hearing from friends who are buying their own homes, who are going to sealed bids and getting into the territory of putting in offers without even seeing a place. All that kind of madness that you only get in a true boom. That was in full swing. And then, Rob, I think it was around about July, August, we started talking on the podcast about how we were seeing the early signs of things slowing down because we get to see things early as a result of what we do. And then, lo and behold, that started to happen. But then, of course, in September, everything completely changed.
Yeah, we had the now infamous mini budget, and I think we'll be talking about that for many years to come because what a catastrophe that was. I don't think anybody would have thought it would have ended so badly. Even after the policies were announced, they weren't popular, but what played out in the weeks after was just crazy. It would have been comical if it wasn't impacting us all. And unfortunately, it was impacting us all. And everything just went wrong. The UK's ability to borrow at sensible rates was decimated. Gilts and swap rates were shockingly high. Mortgages, consequently, went to much higher rates. And everybody, it seemed, and the media didn't help, suddenly went into fear mode. So it's funny, Rob, you say we reflect on the year and the majority of the year has been in a boom phase, and it has. But because of the sort of last quarter of this year, it's not felt like that because there's just been an intense period of gloom and doom around the UK as a whole, not just the property market. Like everything in the UK has just seemed to have felt like, oh gosh, everything is awful. It's incredible the swings of extremes. Like everything is booming to everything is awful. Why can't we just do something nice in the middle?
Because that'd be no fun, would it? But it has been super dramatic. And I think you're right. Like if you actually go and look back at what happened in terms of, say, property prices over this year, if you look back in 10 years' time, you go, that must have been a great year. Everyone must have been like super happy with what was going on. But clearly living it, and especially with the final quarter of the year fresh in everyone's memory, it doesn't feel like that at all. So it's been a really weird year in terms of the economy and the property market. What does next year hold? Well, we'll see. We've got our predictions episode coming up in a couple of weeks' time. Very tempting to take a year off because it's not easy to make calls about what's going to happen, but we're going to be doing it. But normally when we do this episode, Rob, in this nice little period of calm and reflection between Christmas and New Year, we'd like to talk about how the year's been for us as well. So we've talked about the market in general, but how's 2022 been for you?
It's been challenging. I feel like I probably say this every year now, but it has been challenging, but also rewarding. I think it's good to do this reflection episode because we are terrible at reflecting and we're always looking into what we can improve and what can we push next. But I think we've had a lot of wins this year. We've had a tremendous amount of wins, actually, and we've been very, very lucky. And I think it's important to recognise that we are in a very privileged position and we've had some wonderful things happen within the business this year. There's been awards, there's been business growth, there's been new hires coming in, which are very exciting. There's been businesses we've moved on. There's been growth in the existing businesses that we have. There's been the New Times piece. And Rob, of course, there was your book, which smashed it this year. Well done again. Like, there's so many wins. The reason why I'm kind of listing them all out, Rob, is because I know we're both staggering into the end of the year, appreciating the break and resetting ourselves, because with all those wins, there's been an incredible amount of blood, sweat and tears in the background to make that happen and do all the other things that we've been working on.
Yeah, I'm actually glad you listed those because I'd forgotten a couple of them. It's amazing how much happens in a year when you look back. As a business owner, you always feel like things aren't happening fast enough. And there are plenty of things this year that haven't happened fast enough for us. But we've got to look back and go, actually, a fair bit of stuff has happened. And on the whole, it's been really tough, but I've enjoyed it. It's been a good year, I would say, because even though things have been tough and there have been some really, really tough moments, it's kind of what we signed up for. When we started Portfolio, which is an enormous project, we knew we weren't taking the easy route. We were doing it because it's a huge opportunity to do something that we believe needed to exist in the world and that we thought we were uniquely well placed to make happen. And we knew when we were doing it, this would not be easy. It's actually been far harder than I thought it would be, even knowing it wouldn't be easy at the start. But we knew that, so it's not a surprise. And as a result, the challenges have got bigger and scarier. And what we end up dealing with on a day-to-day basis can be pretty full on. But I don't know. I think we kind of knew that would be the case. And I've enjoyed it on the whole, not every day, but on the whole, because it feels like we are making really good progress. Even if you just take the team, the strength of the team that we've built, like we weren't in a bad place at all going into this year, but look at how strong the team is going into the new year. That is a heck of an accomplishment, and it leaves us in a really great position. So to have kind of done all the things that you talked about, and to have built the team to the extent that it is now, and to have kind of done all this groundwork and be in a position to, I believe, really kick things on next year. That's an exciting thing. And yeah, we very, very much need the break. But for the most part, making that happen has been pretty fun.
It has. And don't get me wrong, I'm certainly not trying to sound like a moaning person here. I wouldn't want to do anything else. This is an absolute pleasure. And for that, I feel lucky as well. This is what, when I was a little kid, I dreamed of doing, and now we do it every day. And yes, of course, if you're going to be as ambitious as we are and have the goals and aspirations that we have for our businesses, it's not going to be easy. It shouldn't be. Like, why should it be easy? If you want to change an industry and you want to make as many people as property investors as possible through your technology, then that shouldn't take a week's work, right? That is a meaningful work. It's something that you dedicate a huge proportion to your life to for a number of years. And we're in the middle of that. And because of the dedication this year, and not just by us, I might add, by the whole team, like the whole team is in the same situation here. And this episode's for them as well, to list those wins and remind you of all the hard work that you've done, because the whole team has powered through 2022 and put us on such an incredible footing for next year. I'm always optimistic. That's kind of my default setting, and especially around New Year. The work that's gone in this year means that next year is looking so exciting. What portfolio can go on to do next year is just leaves me tingling. Like, it's an incredible, incredible opportunity. And of course, it's not just that. We've got all the exciting plans we want to do with the podcast or podcasts and all the YouTube stuff. And of course, Property Hub Invest. So you've got all the other stuff we work on as well, which is in a super strong place going into next year. So I think the hard work this year will certainly be rewarded next year by putting us on a great platform to build on. We can't take the foot off the gas. There's loads to do next year as well. But because of the work done this year, it means that we're in a great place to take full advantage of the opportunities that we have next year.
Yes, indeed. And the podcast is something that is going to be a constant throughout 2023, as it has been for the last nearly 10 years. We're celebrating our 10th anniversary, and I think it's February or March, which is pretty crazy. But still, literally my favourite part of the work week is recording this podcast. So that is not going to go anywhere. And in fact, we're going to attempt to level it up further. 2022 for the podcast has been the best year ever. I'm sure we've said that in the past, because it feels like every year is the best year ever in terms of our numbers, in terms of the kind of topics that we're able to tackle and the analysis that we feel that we're bringing. And in terms of the opportunities that have come off the back of it, it has been a truly incredible year for the podcast. And so we're going to be trying to level it up even further in 2023. So really hope that you join us for all of it. Whether you listen to one episode or 52 this year, really appreciate you being a part of it. Hope you're having a fantastic break at this time of year, getting well rested and getting ready to make 2023 an awesome, awesome year for you and your family. So thank you for joining us, and we'll see you in January. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.